Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to please return to your seats, fasten your seatbelts, and put your chairs in the full upright position. You are about to witness the intro that has actually launched me on the path that led to this very special episode of Storytime with Roger, Episode 10. Enjoy. Hey guys, it's Roger, and I really hope that you did enjoy that brand new intro. Please let me know what you thought of it, and if you guys would want to see any changes or anything like that. So anyway, this is Storytime with Roger, episode 10, and I decided to go old school on this. I actually have two shitty games. I didn't have anything impressive. Two shitty games I put back to back, and I actually am putting in the fire, just like before, for long-time viewers. And so anyway, down to business. This story happened last week, as I hope most of you know, because I've been posting videos, like, updating you about it. So anyway, we submitted that intro, minus the end. I changed the end. The end before just had, like, the whoop-ass logo and things like that. So we did that for whoop-ass. We actually won 2nd place, and our other video won 4th place. But the 2nd place video, they picked it specially to win the special prize to go and go on this trip. Now, sadly, they could only pay for one, and so it came down to just me. I was the one that we picked to go because everybody else that worked on it was busy doing other things, and I don't know, I was just the best choice. So I emailed the guy back and forth, and everything's going great. And he gives me my itinerary. I get up and go to the airport, and by the way, I put together a lot of videos for and about the trip, and I'll be putting them up here, like, as I make them. I just wanted to get this one out, like, as soon as possible to let you guys know, and while everything's still, like, really fresh in my mind. So, I go on the airport, everything goes fine, you know, airports aren't as bad as people make them out to be, and I fly to Phoenix, Arizona. It was a pretty long trip. Nothing important. Our flight did get delayed. Like, I had to stop in Chicago. Our flight got delayed 2 hours for some maintenance, so that kind of sucked. So I get to the hotel, and I check in, get my room, and they said everybody's gonna meet around 6:30 that night. And so I go down, and I see a couple young people. And I'm like, oh, that's probably them. So I just, like, wave to them. They're like, yeah, come on over. So sit down with them. And first thing, he's like, hey, you want a beer? I'm like, sure, I would love a beer. So go get a beer. Just chilling with these guys. Just meet him. I didn't know anybody on this trip. I'd never heard of anybody. So I met, like, just around that table, I met up with the marketing director of Jones, and this photographer Chris, and his girlfriend / assistant Danielle, and they were all really cool, and we just started drinking. We went out to eat, and got great food at this the Armadillo Grill in Phoenix, Arizona, and we got pretty drunk, to be honest. There was just a lot of beer and a couple of shots of Jaeger with all these people, and the other people that were coming on the trip was Melissa. She was a filmmaker. Todd, he's the digital marketing director. He's the one that actually got me on the trip. And then Rachel, who's a blogger for MMA, like mixed martial arts and UFC. And so that whole night goes by, nothing too crazy other than, like, us all getting really drunk. And I'm already gonna say this now. I'm probably gonna run out of time. And I'll have to keep telling more stories about this as we go. And so we go, you know, sleep. Next day we get in the Jones RV, and we drive, and we drive, and we drive for a long time. Well, actually, no, we only drove for like an hour or so. And we went to Ryan Bader's gym, and if you don't know, Ryan Bader is a professional UFC fighter. He won UFC 8, and he's building his own gym, and we went and we met up with him, and like, he's a really cool guy, really nice, got a really nice facility, and the other photographer guy was Chris. He was like, oh, you know, let's go in the octagon and fight. So like, him and Ryan Bader go into the fight, and you know, they just kind of like mess around, and you know, Chris obviously gets his ass kicked, and like, it's all fun. And then, well, we tore a little bit more, and I was like, hey, it's my turn. I wanna go with you. So me and him we go at it in the octagon, and obviously he just massacres me. He just like goes easy on me and everything, and chokes me out like 3 or 4 times. And then, you know, we laughed about it, and then like, as we're getting up and like walking out, he's like, oh dude, I gotta tell you, the one time you came, like, I came in at you, you got me good, you got me with an elbow to the eye, and I fucking gave him a black eye. I gave a professional fighter, a professional UFC fighter, a fucking black eye. And let me tell you, I also am posting a picture right now, probably the most badass picture you've ever seen in your entire life. And I don't know how much more badass you can get than saying you gave a professional fighter a black eye. So that's probably one of the coolest things that happened on the trip. So we laughed, we took pictures, and blah blah blah. And we get on the RV and we drive, and it was a long day, just to say. And we decided to stop at Tombstone, Arizona. You know, the movie was filmed there. We stopped there and see a bunch of crazy stuff. Like, I see a cowboy riding a horse while eating an ice cream cone, and we see a bunch of stuff, take a lot of pictures, and then we get back on the RV and we head to El Paso, and it took us 16 hours from the time we left Phoenix to get to El Paso with all the stops and detours, and it was still just an awesome drive. Like, they had USB modems, so we could actually access the internet the whole time, even though it was slow. And then that night we went to this barbecue in Wilcox, Arizona, and we go in, we sit down, and a group of kids come in. They're like about 15, and they like come up to our table. They're like, "Are you the guys with the RV?" And by the way, the RV's huge and awesome looking. They're like, "Are you the guys with the RV?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Dude, can we have your autographs?" And we're like, "Why?" And so like, we start just like talking to him, and one of the kids leans to another kid and he's like, "Who are they?" And the other kid goes, "I don't know, but I think they're famous." And so we like signed autographs for him and like took pictures with them and stuff, and we said goodbye to them, and just like met tons of random people as we went along. It was so weird. So we go on, we finally get to the hotel, and for some reason the hotel fucked us out of a room. Actually out of 2 rooms because of March Madness, because apparently there was a tournament in town, and somehow they're just like, fuck you, we're gonna steal 2 of your rooms. So I had to share a room with Todd, which was fine. I mean, I didn't mind at all. And, you know, then the next day we get up, start driving. We're like, today we're not going to mess around too much, we're gonna try to get there. And we drive, and I think it took us like 10 hours to get to this place. We didn't stop at any places really, like, other than to get food. And so we all just like were chatting and everything, and like, once we're all having a good time. Like, honestly, pretty much everybody had just met, and we all got along really well. And I was like doing a lot of filming, and they're saying like, "Dude, we're about to get to the festival and you're going home tomorrow." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, that sucks." And they're like, "Dude, do you want us, we can push your flight back." And I was like, "Oh my god, yeah." So they called the airline and pushed my flight back. I was supposed to go home Thursday, and they pushed it back until Monday. So they're like, "This is your first time at South by Southwest, so you gotta experience it." So, like, I just crashed at everybody else's hotels for like the rest of the time, and it was just so crazy. Everywhere are parties. Like I went and saw some boards, and I saw the gaming section, which was awesome. I got to see the Mortal Kombat, and I played Homefront before it came out. And I saw Midget Mike Tyson, and then we started getting into exclusive parties because we're with Jones, you know, we're big deal. And they're like, hey, there's this party coming up, and Jake Gyllenhaal's gonna be there. We're like, oh my god, sweet, let's go. So we go, and it's this kind of like fancy schmancy bar, and after a while, Jake Gyllenhaal shows up, and I'm like in this other corner, and he's on the other side, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait until he comes over and like try to get a picture with him. And he's hanging out for a bit, and this girl that we met there, her name was Nadia. She's this really short, like Filipino girl, very angry, and apparently she was like doing something, I don't know. And Jake Gyllenhaal's publicist called her a brown bitch, and Nadia just flips the fuck out and goes crazy, starts screaming, and like, I don't know, just absolutely insane. And obviously Jake Gyllenhaal and his publicist just like disappeared after that, so I didn't even get a chance to see him. Then the next night, I found out Crack.com. If you guys didn't know, I'm a big fan of Crack.com. I love all their articles and videos they make. I found out that they actually had a show, and so I went and I snuck in. Like, I went into the show really early, and I started talking to the guys because I knew, well, I didn't know them, but like I was fans of them and I recognized them, and I was talking to them, and they're like, "Are you on the list?" I'm like, "No, I'm not on the list." And they're like, "Well, let's put you on there." And they went and they put me on the list, and I got all their autographs. One of them, Dan O'Brien, he actually pulled me up on stage and was like, "This guy's from Pittsburgh, and he won a video competition to get out here." And I'm like, "Oh my god, you guys are the coolest people ever." And like, Katie was so nice to me, and she gave me hugs and took pictures, and I got all their autographs. They gave me a free book and a free DVD. And then the next day we met up with these musicians. One's name's Cole, and like, she plays acoustic, and there were these other two guys, and we drove to the Alamo, and we just set up and played in front of the Alamo, like, and I just filmed it, and it was so cool, like, in front of like thousands of people there just to see the Alamo. We just showed up, started playing music, and they all loved it. They were all clapping, and we were like handing out t-shirts and soda. It was so amazing, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna be inviting me back next year. Like, I don't want to like hold my breath, but they're pretty sure they want to bring me back next year, especially if I do really well with these videos. And like, oh my god, there's so many more things that happened. It's just absolutely crazy, and I will be putting all the footage that I have recorded of the road trip and all my experiences at South by Southwest, and I'll be putting them up here. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, because I probably wouldn't have done it if I hadn't been doing stuff like this. And let me know what you think of the intro. Ask me any more questions you had about my experiences about it, because I will answer them. I read every comment. I read every message. I've just been a little bit behind. Sorry if I haven't responded to you lately. But anyways, thank you so much, guys, and you have a wonderful night.